Hey everybody, my name is Brock with no K, and you just got stuck at a four-way stop, the #1 comedy podcast in Chicago, recorded primarily out of a Toyota Camry. I've been a rideshare driver for more than 6 years, and I've taken over 15,000 rides. Well, I've strapped my car with lights, cameras, and microphones, and have my passengers tell their funniest stories. Once again, I'm here with my co-host Chase. How are we doing today, Chase?
Hey, Brock. This episode may be the best episode yet.
You say that every week.
We keep getting better.
Oh, that's true. We are.
Fans of the show may remember, back in September, we had 2 back-to-back episodes called Partied Out Parts 1 and 2.
We are back with the booze bags, featuring 6 stories about boozing, some of them funny, some of them not such funny situations that drinking too much alcohol can lead to. I think we've both been there a few too many times, eh, Chase?
We sure have. We got some funny stories about throwing them back. That's for sure.
We have a wild story about ruining ancient artifacts with a hangover.
And a story about a guy who won't spill his drink no matter the circumstances.
Yes, and stick around for the last story of today's episode. It's one of my favorites that I've recorded so far. It's called Wine Barfer. Stick around. Check it out.
Let's get to the stories.
If you wanna go and take a ride with me, we're 3 women all crammed in the backseat. Oh, why do I live this way?
Hey, must be the funny.
But if you wanna take a free ride with me, make me laugh from the back of my Camry. Oh, why do I live this way?
Hey, must be the funny.
You just got stuck at a 4-way stop.
All right, we got AJ in the backseat. AJ, you were out on a date and had something go wrong. It was a date, right?
Yeah, a couple of years ago, we had gone on a few dates, so I'd slept over at her place, and, that was kind of normal.
Sure.
My place had, kind of turned into storage, and I was spending a lot of time there.
Okay.
It was like a Sunday morning at 8 or 9 a.m. after a long night of going out Saturday. I think we ended up going to bed at like 2 or 3 a.m.
Okay, sure.
And she had done her laundry the night before and put all her clean clothes back into her laundry hamper and just put it in her room. She was going to put it away later.
Fold it tomorrow, yeah.
Yep, as the rest of us do.
Right.
But at like 8 or 9 a.m., I woke up, had to pee, had to pee the ocean out of my bladder because I'd been drinking so much the night before. In my drunken haze, when I woke up, still drunk, getting hungover, I thought her clean laundry hamper was the toilet and just peed all over her clean laundry.
That's awesome.
Yep. That lasted a couple more months.
That's...
Yeah, she never lived it down, kept bringing it up every chance she could. It was kind of funny, though. After the initial her being so angry, having to redo her laundry, and she was fine with it.
Yeah. I mean, it's still gross, but get over it.
She should have put her clothes away.
I'm shocked that it lasted a few more months. I feel like if you peed on my laundry, you're done, man.
You gotta buy me a new wardrobe.
Right.
Out of here.
Awesome. We've got Lucas in the backseat.
Yeah. So I come from a long line of pretty good golfers.
Okay.
So I have 3 older brothers, 2 of which are professional golfers, both teach at country clubs. So I was visiting my brother. He had a new girlfriend, first time meeting her, so we figured why not golf? So we went to his place of employment, posh country club. We get out there. Towards the end of the round, I had been drinking transfusions.
What is a transfusion?
Transfusion, grape juice, ginger ale, vodka, but...
That sounds delicious.
Yeah,
actually.
and you can sub a grape Gatorade too. Keep hydration going too.
Instead of the vodka?
No way, Jose. Yeah, so we're out there, par 4, long par 4, hit a good second shot up on the green. I like to say that I was up on the green. I was probably pretty close to the green.
Okay.
Large marshy area just in front of the green. There's this bridge that you have to cross on the golf cart.
Okay.
And these golf carts were pretty top-notch golf carts, like padded seat, not your average, public course golf cart. I think it went pretty fast. So I'm driving up and going pretty fast. Take the bridge full speed. The right rear tire hits the edge of the bridge. Golf cart does one of those turns and then turns on its side.
On its side.
Yeah. I'm fine. The golf cart is not fine. My clubs are fine-ish, I guess. They're pretty crappy anyway. And the transfusion is just fine.
Didn't spill any of the drink?
No,
That's a
I'm
true champion right there.
That is, yes. That is the moral of the story.
What happened to the cart?
So they came, they sent a cart guy out, and, we all 1, 2, 3 lifted up. They changed the tire, brought us out a new cart, and finished the round. Finished the drink, finished the round.
Now, more importantly, what did you think of the girlfriend?
Nice girl. They're not together anymore.
Okay. Awesome. All right, Lucas, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks.
So that golf cart story about how Lucas crashed the car and crashed the golf cart and didn't spill his drink reminds me of this time in Madison when we were having a house party when you and I lived together, and the steps to the basement where the dance floor were soaked in beer. And I remember I just filled up my red party cup at the keg, and I was heading downstairs, and I slipped on the wet steps, and I tumbled all the way down the stairs upside down, but I managed to not spill my drink, not a drop. I felt like a king.
I remember going to a party, paying for a cup, and literally turned around for paying for a cup, and they're like, "Oh, keg's cashed."
Yeah, I hated when that would happen.
We didn't even get a cup, so we tried to get our money back, and they wouldn't give it to us. So allegedly, someone pulled a fire alarm.
That's crazy. Somebody pulled the fire alarm. I guess the party's over, huh?
Yeah.
Anyways, our next story is about an underage kid partying with her older sister in Spain and the trouble she got in the next day.
Sounds like fun. Let's go.
Okay, so to set the scene for you, I was 16, the tender age of 16, and I was visiting my brother with my family. He was studying abroad in Spain in college.
Okay.
So I was a young buck, and we were in Granada. Do you know where that is?
No.
Okay, well, there's a really ancient castle in Granada
Okay.
called the Alhambra, and it's so holy. Everything about it is really holy. Okay, relax. You're making me nervous.
You better have one, and you better have one ready now that you're talking like that.
No, this is just a story. There's no punchline. It's a story. Shit just happens and it builds. There's a climax, if that's what you're asking. Anyway, you cunt. Sorry. Can take that off the YouTube. Beef. So anyway, can you curse on YouTube or you can't?
I don't think you can. I think we have to beep it.
Yeah, okay.
But everywhere else you can swear.
Okay. Anyway, so now that I'm realizing maybe the story isn't that funny, but whatever. I'm 16.
If it's not, we just won't use it.
That's fine. And then you can just hear about my life, and then that's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Me and my sister decide, she's older, so she was like, I'm going to take you out drinking, whatever. So she takes me out drinking, and we have an 8 a.m. tour at the Alhambra. And so we get really fucked up. I'm throwing up all night, just having a terrible night. Very young, don't have that much alcohol experience. And the next morning, I'm so hungover, I cannot go to this 8 a.m. tour, whatever I do. And my sister's like, you have to go. My parents, Maddie, they're so strict. It's not going to fly. If I was just I'm hungover, also, yeah, to preface the story, my mom is incredibly strict.
Okay.
To catch me drinking was not, that was a serious offense.
Yeah.
So regardless of the drinking age it's made at the time. So I decided to just muscle up, and I get dressed, and I'm wearing a flat-brimmed hat for some reason, a fedora almost, but a wider brim, which is really weird. You can picture the outfit probably. Chuggy ass 2016.
Jamiroquai or Pharrell?
Yeah, Pharrell, yeah, Think
Okay.
Pharrell. That's the exact vibe. And I was wearing a poncho. I don't know what I thought I was doing.
Did you catch the Jamiroquai? Do you know who that is, or am I just really fucking old?
You're a little bit old, but I caught the Pharrell.
All right. He's really old. He's
Okay, how old are you? 35? 35?
You're the first person to ever get it right.
Slay. Okay, well, I'm 22, so I'm wearing the flat brim hat, the poncho, obviously eating in this fit, and we get to the tour. I am doing everything I can to conceal from my parents that I'm hungover. So I'm throwing up in bushes, whenever their back is turned. We have a full ass tour guide, and he's walking with my parents, and I'm throwing up on the driveway up to get to the Alhambra, which is a castle, an ancient castle. And little kids, little school buses of kids are pointing, laughing, my parents would turn around and I would stand up straight. Like that literally it was like a cartoon. Like when you're like doing it behind their back. Like
Yep.
Anyway, so I'm throwing up like in bushes, whatever. My sister's cackling, laughing. We get to the tour. It is the most boring fucking tour of all time. I hope I don't have any like Spanish people that end up listening to this. Literally, the tour guide is going into such in-depth detail about everything. He's like, this tile is where the king like took his first shit. Like whatever. Like just that kind of tour where you're like, Jesus, like, is this ever gonna end? So at this
And you're hungover, so it's
and everything is
100
so
times
sacred.
worse.
Like you
Yeah.
can't touch anything. You literally can't touch anything. So at this point, I'm like, holy shit! Like I'm gonna puke in this sacred ass castle. I turn around, puke into an urn. At this point, security's like, this girl's got to go. Like she is throwing up. My parents just saw me puke in the 1,000-year-old urn of Whispering Warriors. And they're like, you got to get the fuck out of here. Security like escorts me out. I'm puking the entire way, like puking in trash cans, garbage bags, whatever. Anyway, I tuck my tail between my legs and security puts me in a taxi back to my hotel. And then I went back and awaited my punishment. And that's my story. But it was a terrible time.
No. You can't just. What was the punishment?
I mean, my parents were just like, never show your face.
You're not allowed to go anywhere.
Don't
ever
carry our
again.
last name. You cannot continue to bear our last name. So anyway, yeah, it was actually really bad. I'm downplaying it, but it was really bad at the time.
No,
And
that's a great story.
thank you.
I appreciate
Yeah.
it. Is it a good story?
Well, I don't know if it's a
Okay,
good story.
we'll
but
find out.
I mean, for me, you know, the reason that I'm in your car right now is about 5-6 years ago, me and my buddy went out to the brewery right over here.
Okay.
And you know how heavy those beers get. So we did that, and then we went to this block party that you're now driving me to.
Yeah.
And you just picked somebody up
What is?
earlier.
Do you know the name of the block party?
I don't.
Okay.
I don't.
Maybe we'll find out when we pull up.
Every block party is just block party.
Okay,
You know,
sure.
is basically out here.
It looked like it was hopping. Like,
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was lights flashing, and
Well,
unless it's a different one, then.
it all depends on how the block is and
Yeah.
how cool they are.
Yeah.
Because I actually play in a band, and I played a block party for a really cool block.
Nice.
They just had a blast. Anyway, so 5-6 years ago or so, I went to the block party after drinking lots of craft beers that were like 8%.
Yeah. Oh, those will
Stuff
hit
like
you
that.
real quick.
Yeah. So after that, we went to the block party. Had a great time. Now I have a little scooter. Actually, it's a Honda 150 PCX. So you got to have your M license for it. I thought after the block party, I would actually head out to a small little dive bar on my scooter. So I did.
Yeah.
So I went to the dive bar, had a couple of beers, and right before I left, the bartender who actually owns the bar, you have to have a shot of Malort. And it was my first shot of Malort.
Yeah.
So I had
what'd
my
you think
first
of that?
shot of Malort and got on my scooter.
No, hang on. What did you think of the Malort?
Oh, you know what? It's the worst experience you ever
It
want to
really is.
have. But there's some weird. So this is all about Chicago.
Yeah.
You have to have a shot of Malort.
Yep.
If you go into that bar that I was in, I won't mention the name. There's a lot of bars that do that.
Right.
That they're like, okay, you're
Free shot.
yeah, free shot. And it's just
It's almost more of a dare. Like-
It is. It's painful.
Yeah.
So after that, the last thing I saw, I woke up, I was on somebody's lawn, and my scooter was still running, all busted up
Oh, no.
down the curb. So literally, I blacked out, and the next thing I see is the owner of the house on his phone, back and forth, pacing. And then the next thing I saw was an ambulance and the cops. So that's never a good thing.
No.
So this party here we
Hang
are,
out
we're
here.
rolling up right here. So, yeah. So, is it a good story? It's a good story now.
So what was
because,
the final outcome?
Well, the final outcome was a DUI.
Oh no!
Yeah.
On a scooter.
Yeah, on a not even on my scooter. So I'm like,
In somebody's front lawn.
it's somebody's front lawn. But the yes, it's a good story because now I have you to be able to call and get me.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So if you're still in the neighborhood, I may need a ride home.
Hey guys, thanks for sticking around and listening to all the stories on this episode. I just wanted to give you an update that we are still working on the YouTube show. We are still filming, and Brock is out there driving every day, picking up people, giving them rides. They're telling their funny stories, but we're capturing it all on video this time, and we are building a backlog of awesome stories that are come to you on YouTube very soon. Make sure you follow us on YouTube and all the other socials so that you can keep in touch and see the videos when they go live.
It's coming,
And
guys.
It's coming. And they're going to be the best episodes yet. Now, let's get to the next story. We're done talking about that update about the show. Let's get to the next stories, which are some of the funniest stories that we've had. The next story is about a time long gone when people used Facebook and when it was cool and used for parties.
And for the last story, and I feel like I have a story that ties right into this, but the name of it's Wine Barfer, and I think it speaks for itself, and you just have to listen.
You just got to listen.
I don't know if what I said made sense, but
Made sense to me.
let's go.
Let's go.
We got Brendan in the back seat. Brendan, you said you had a good story for us?
Yeah, I think it's funny.
Okay.
We'll see. Yeah. So, quick story. When I was 17, I thought it'd be a great idea to make a Facebook event for a party at my house, a public event.
A public party event at your house.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great idea.
Great idea.
Yeah, exactly.
Lovely.
And so I invited what I thought was 50 of my closest friends. I tried to cancel the party last minute because I realized how much of a disaster this was about to be. No one believed me. Everyone showed up anyway. And so at this point, I'm almost waiting for the cops to show up because it's just so many people. My mom, just to give context, is a nurse. And so she works at night. She was not home. My dad, actually this is important to know, I said, "Hey Dad, can I have some people over tonight?" He said, "Who?" I said, "Oh, like the usual, the same, 5-6 friends I normally have."
Right.
And he was like,
Along
"Okay."
with 45 other people.
Yeah, plus other 45 to 60, maybe more, whatever. And but anyways, so he goes, "Okay, just keep it down. I'm gonna go to bed." I said, Sure, no problem. So my dad takes sleeping pills. So
Okay.
in my
I was
mind,
gonna
I'm like,
ask, how did he sleep through that?
well, that's part of what happened. So he went upstairs, and I said, great. So I texted all my friends, come over, all these things. And so I'm kind of anxious but excited, and it got crazy pretty quickly, things were being thrown, people had fights, someone's purse got stolen, it was it got bad. But what got real crazy was when, someone said the cops are here, which at that point I had been kind of expecting because it was so out of control. Everyone's running. So I live in a neighborhood where there's woods behind me.
Okay.
And so everyone's running to the trees, hiding. We're all high schoolers, and so we don't want to talk, And the detectives are basically, they come in. Someone lets them in my house. They're in there and they're like, "Where's your parents?" I'm like, "Well, my mom is out and my dad is also out." And they're like, "Call them." So I call my mom's hospital. She doesn't answer. Call my dad. Doesn't answer, even though he's literally upstairs, by the way. So I'm like, "Guess come back in the morning." And they're like, "Yeah, no. We need to hold your parents or whatever." So I call the hospital and actually did a hold my mom. And I'm on the phone and they're like, I said, "Hey, Mom." She goes, "Why are you calling me?" I never call at work.
Right.
And she goes, and so she knows it must be an emergency of some sort. I said, "Yeah, the cops want to talk to you." And so I give the phone to the cops and I go, "Ma'am, your house is trashed. And I'm like, oh my God, my mom is gonna kill me, obviously.
Right.
So I hear her yelling like, what? Going off on the phone. And then she's like, I'll be there in 10 minutes. And she hangs up aggressively. I'm like, oh my God, I'm in trouble. So I go downstairs to the basement. Meanwhile, my dad is still sleeping, by the way, for context. And I'm cleaning up downstairs, acting like my dad is not upstairs this entire time. And then I hear the basement door open as I'm cleaning up all these bottles that are just everywhere at this point. And my mom goes, Bren, like weirdly calm. She goes, I just wanted to let you know that there is a shock trauma helicopter outside our backyard, because someone got stabbed in the backyard. And she's like, this is why I said don't have a party. And she starts and she slams the basement door. I obviously go running upstairs. So I'm like, what is going on here? And I go outside, there's caution tape surrounding my house, there's ambulances, there's literally a helicopter is leaving the backyard. My dad is still sleeping, by the way. And so
I like how you keep bringing that up.
And so the whole time I'm just like, oh my God, I cannot be in any more trouble right now. Like, this is horrible. Like, my house was really trashed. It really was trashed.
Yeah.
And
we had a buddy in high school try to throw a party, same outcome.
Absolutely, yeah. The carpet
do it.
was permanently ruined after that.
Yeah.
So, my mom is clearly upset. There's detectives there, there's ambulances, the families are crying outside. I'm like, how did all this happen? In the few minutes I was cleaning up downstairs, Right. Anywho, so and eventually the detective is asking me hey, who is here? Yada yada. I named everyone who wasn't my friend. So I was like, oh, all these people that I don't really know.
Yeah.
And then she goes, where's your father, by the way? I was like, upstairs. She goes, your father's upstairs? And
was this your mom?
Yeah.
Okay.
So she goes running upstairs, and I just hear, Steve, wake up. And I just hear the bed shaking, and he comes downstairs completely disheveled or whatever, and a mess. He doesn't know what's going on.
Right.
It turns out the next morning that he had taken an extra sleeping pill that he
So
normally
double dosed.
Yeah.
So he's like, oh, he's got his friends coming over. I better.
Yeah, better, knocked
Yeah.
out, I guess. But the crazy part is that there were people in the room who heard in my high school because some people were kind of caught hiding out in the woods in the closet. People were just hiding all over my house.
Sure.
And so there was a rumor going around. The school started a week later. I literally heard people coming up to me. It was an actual rumor going around that I drugged my dad to have this party. So not only was I a stabbing suspect, I also was accused of drugging my father.
Did we ever find out
party.
who did the stabbing?
Yeah, so I found out because
It was you. No.
yeah. I'm everyone's did you? I'm no, I swear. I was trying to control the party. And so I didn't even know who got stabbed. I was who got stabbed? Was it a friend? And then they told me. I'm I don't know who that is. Anyway, so it wasn't until a day later or so someone called me and said, hey, I have something really funny to tell you. I was what? And they were yeah, I saw someone trip when someone said the police. They ran to the woods, but then they tripped. And when they stood up, there was a beer bottle sticking out of their stomach, and they kept running into the woods. It turned out the guy fell on his own beer bottle, and it literally cut into him. So to this day, I don't know him personally, but everyone tells me who's his friend. He has a circular scar in his stomach from a cracked beer bottle that went into his
We got to get that
stomach.
guy on the show too.
Yeah, I don't even know his name. They
that's
told me
all
his name a
good.
long time ago, So, yeah, that's my
That's
funny
wild.
story, I guess. I'm
That's
not a
wild,
stabbing.
man.
I didn't stab anyone. My parents were pissed, but
And you didn't
you
drug
know,
your dad.
I did not drug my
Allegedly.
dad to clarify that. But yeah, that's my story.
Awesome,
so,
man. Well,
there
thank you
go.
for bringing that to the back seat. All right, guys, we got Travis in the back seat tonight.
going on?
Travis, you had some fun with some wine one night.
I did, yeah.
What went down?
Yeah, so a buddy of mine, he's a cooking chef at
Oh,
a
awesome.
college.
Yeah.
And so in the summertime, he would host these fancy ass wine parties. Everybody brings a bottle of wine, and then he makes hors d'oeuvres. You get drunk. That's kind of what it goes.
Yeah.
First time that we were doing this party, me and my boyfriend at the time, now husband, and we'd only been dating a couple months.
Okay.
So I've met most of his friends from college, and they're all going to be there for the first time, and we're just having a good time.
And now, is that who's with us in the back seat?
No.
No, okay.
No.
So we're
this-
going to talk about your husband that's not with us.
Yeah, he's working
Okay.
tonight, and
Let's
he's
let
not here.
the-
He's not here to defend himself.
Oh,
so I'm sure he's gonna love this whenever he
Love
hears
this
about
being
this.
out there. Perfect.
But yeah, so we, we're getting, drinking some wine, and it's all good. But I didn't really drink wine back then. I would, pace myself drinking wine like I would drink beer. So
Oh, yeah.
a bottle and a half of wine in an hour, and I'm super gone. We're playing. I don't know if people know this game. It's called Can Jam. It's kind of like if you were to play cornhole or bags or whatever it is, except you've got this weird plastic trash can looking thing
Yep.
to throw a frisbee in. You can either throw it in the slot or get it in top.
Yep.
by the point in time that I had had like a bottle and a half of wine, I remember like throwing the Frisbee, and my husband was supposed to like intercept it to like make the play. He was not paying attention, and I like straight up hit him in the temple.
Jeez.
And that was just like the start of it all, right? Then like lots more drinking ensued because somebody brought out some sort of like jungle juice type thing.
Okay.
And mixed it with Sprite, very little Sprite. So,
Yeah.
you know, it was mainly jungle juice. And
Now this is after all the wine is gone?
correct.
Okay.
Well,
Or-
there was more wine than everybody could drink, but like after everyone was like, all right, we're done with wine.
yeah.
We're going to switch to something more stupid.
Right.
And so then, yeah, we switched to the jungle juice, and then desserts came out, and there was Rice Krispies. And it's significant to the Rice Krispies because I had, you know, it was about 1 a.m, and I was like done for the night. I was like, I'm going to pass out
Yeah.
and be done. So I like pass out on the couch. And my husband and his best friend in the world from college thought it would be a super fun idea to take some of those Rice Krispie treats and form them into the shape of a penis and then put them in my face. And they thought that would be hilarious.
Yeah, it is hilarious.
And so they did that, and then I immediately like woke up, and then the scent or whatever it was made me like immediately think I had to throw up. So I like bolt up, go to the restroom. There's one restroom on the main floor,
Okay.
and somebody is in it. And I can't find another restroom to throw up in, so I like start to like throw up, and I thought I had caught it enough to like get outside to go out and throw up. So I throw up outside, and then
You made it outside.
I made it
That's
outside. Yeah, you're right. And then my husband comes out to check on me, and I was like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry that I like threw up all over Justin's lawn, and I threw up on myself as well, which was not my most proud moment in my life.
It happens.
Happens. I'm sure everyone's been there. And then my husband he's like, his lawn. He's like, you threw up on his wall, his floor,
Oh,
his
no.
lawn, yourself. Like,
We're never allowed here
you
ever again.
are officially the worst at this party. And then I had to get cleaned up, and then I have now had the reputation of being the worst at the party. And so yeah, that's what happens when you get wine drunk at a party.
So my favorite part of that entire story is the penis Rice Krispie thing, only because it just lets me know that gay guys have the same sense of humor as straight guys as well.
They do.
Because that's exactly what me and my friends would do to
They
each other
truly
as
do.
well.
Yeah,
you know.
like that's the one redeeming quality of this whole thing. Like, despite the fact that it was a bad like experience in the moment, like it is.
So whatever happened to that Rice Krispie treat?
You know what? I don't even know, because I don't know that it got ate, and I don't know if it like just sat there and got thrown out. Like I
Right.
couldn't tell you because like I was busy throwing up everything that was in my soul.
I like how I focus on the one part of the story that has no significance to anything else.
I mean, it actually had a lot of significance
Okay.
because it was the crux that made me throw up. I was perfectly content passing out and being like hungover the next day.
Yeah.
And the Rice Krispie treat was the one thing that was the thing that pushed me over the edge.
Wait, did you eat it?
No.
Oh.
It just, the scent of it is what like woke me up
I
and then made me be like, oh my God, I have to throw up like right now.
Okay.
Like now.
So it is your husband's fault.
Oh, 100%. I will blame him to the end of the earth. Like
Yes.
it's his fault. Like
Yep.
I was perfectly fine being asleep, and
Don't
get married because
don't-
he'll make you throw up at wine parties.
And don't stick Rice Krispie dicks in people's faces when they're drunk.
Exactly.
Awesome, Travis. Well, thank you for coming on and telling that story. All right, guys. Well, thanks for sticking around. If you made it this far, you know what to do. No, you don't. What are we supposed to do? What
We're
are
going to
we
see
doing
you
here?
next Tuesday. That's what we're going to do.
Yeah, that's what we're going to do. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.